Hello everybody, my name's Nerdy Lover and welcome to another episode of our football betting show here on YouTube, Premier League edition. We've got a few selections coming up for you for the weekend, for this weekend, the 8th and 9th of October. But before we do that, we're going to just quickly recap our games from last week. Starting off with the North London Derby, we took over 2.5 goals and over 3.5 cards. That paid out at almost 6-5. £20 stake did return 22.39. Unfortunately, we did pick up a loss as Brentford couldn't convert their chances against Bournemouth. They were the team on top. All they needed to do was put it in the back of the net. But they were unable to do so, so we did take a £20 hit there. Chelsea saved our bacon in the 91st minute, beating Crystal Palace by 2-1. Continuing our up and down weekend, Southampton and Everton, under 2.5 goals, looked absolutely nailed on. If it wasn't for a 7-minute flurry where all 3 goals were scored in Everton's 2-1 win, we would have picked up another win, but we didn't. This may be a good learning opportunity. I should have just covered it or cashed out at half-time when it was 0-0, but alas, it's a learning opportunity for us. We did manage to turn a profit on the Sunday, though, as Manchester City did beat Manchester United by more than 2 goals in a 6-3 win at the Etihad. Picked up £18 in that particular selection, so that means this weekend, the first weekend of October, did yield £18 and 59 pence worth of profit. We're hitting at a 60% win rate. We'd like to get that a little bit closer to 70, but if we're in profit, we're in profit, so you can't complain too much. So, without further ado, let's get into the bets for the weekend coming up. We start things over in West London as 5th place Chelsea host 18th place Wolves. And Chelsea managed to edge past Crystal Palace with a last-minute winner, courtesy of Conor Gallagher last time out. We were pretty happy because that did mean we picked up the win in that particular selection. Now, Chelsea are somewhat of an unknown quantity in the Premiership under Graham Potter. And I'm really interested to see what he can do with such a talented squad. No disrespect to Brighton, but the resources are much greater at Chelsea. The away side Wolves sacked their manager, Bruno Lage, last week following a 2-0 loss to West Ham. It's another game in which the team from the West Country failed to score a goal. They are the lowest goal-scoring side in the Premiership, with 0.4 goals per game. They're not doing too bad defensively, conceding 1.1 goals per game, but obviously, now Wolves this year, and to some degree last season, played a style of, how do we say it nicely, boring football, winning or losing the odd game by a goal here or there. Normally low-scoring affairs. You normally think of under 2.5 goals when Wolves are mentioned. When we look at Chelsea, they are unbeaten from home in the Premiership so far this season, with 2 wins, draw, and 0 losses. And Wolves are winless away from Molineux, with 0 wins, 1 draw, and 3 defeats. I like Chelsea here in the first leg of a double. It's a pretty straightforward one. The Blues to win at the Bridge. Next up, we have 4th place Brighton playing host to 3rd place Tottenham Hotspurs. And there are 2 ways you could view Brighton's most recent result against Liverpool at the weekend. I'm sure the majority of Brighton fans would have taken a draw going into the match, but when you consider they threw away a 2-goal lead, it may leave some people feeling a bit aggrieved and a bit disappointed. A Graham Potterless Brighton are somewhat of an unknown quantity, although they have had a couple games now. However, we do know exactly what to expect from Antonio Conte as the Spurs boss. Under the Italian, Spurs are averaging 2.6 goals per game and creating exactly 2 chances per 90. Defensively, they are consistent. They concede just shy of 1 goal per game and have 2 clean sheets to their name so far this season. When we look at the head-to-head record, both teams shared the points last season, both of which winning away from home. I'm banking on some kind of hangover from the departure of Potter and maybe a little bit of disappointment sinking in from the Liverpool result. I'm going to be laying Brighton here and adding that to our first selection, Chelsea, to turn this into a double. Our 4th featured match today returns us to London as 1st place Arsenal host 9th place Liverpool. Arsenal are currently on a high, still at the top of the league following their derby success against Tottenham Hotspurs. And Arsenal are perfect from home, outscoring visitors by a margin of 11 goals to 5. As touched upon in our last selection, Liverpool did draw 3-3 against Brighton. A good result to come back on, but it continues this form of Liverpool being disappointing so far this season. Not beating teams they should, or should I say, that people think they will beat pre-match. They were billed as Man City's closest challenger for the league this year, but they've just not competed, only winning 29% of their games compared to last year's 73%. When we look at Arsenal, they are scoring 2.4 goals per game and conceding 1 goal per game, which is pretty similar to Liverpool, to be honest. They are scoring 2.5 goals per game and conceding 1 goal per game. I do like goals here, especially when you consider both teams to score has come in 4 of the last 5 Liverpool games, and for Arsenal, this number stands at 5 of the last 6 games. Both sides have firepower and not the most elite defences in the world. Unsure on who's going to win. I feel like this game is going to have goals. I think both teams will score, so we're going to take both teams to score here on the exchange in a single. Over to Merseyside for our final bet of today's episode. 11th place Everton hosts 6th place Manchester United. And Everton built on their win against West Ham with consecutive wins, picking up another 3 points at St Mary's. This does mean that Everton are now unbeaten in each of their last 7 games. Manchester United did take the brunt of Manchester City on Sunday, losing by 6 goals to 3, with Haaland and Foden both netting hat-tricks. Despite Manchester United putting 3 past the Citizens, they are the lowest scoring side in the top half of the Premier League, so perhaps goals will be at premium in this one. This case is strengthened when you look at Everton's goal-scoring record of 0.9 goals per game, conceding at a rate of 0.9 goals per game as well. Similarly, Manchester United score 1.6 goals per game, but a worrying concession rate of 2 per game. That may only be the odd goal in this one, but I think that Manchester United will have the real edge here. When we look at the chance creation category, Manchester United averaged 2.5 key chances per 90, whereas Everton only managed 1.1. I like Manchester United to win this one on the road. I think it's decent value for a full stake of £20 to wrap up today's episode. Back on the spreadsheet here, and we have 3 selections for this weekend. First up on the Saturday, we're going to hope that Chelsea can beat Wolves and that Spurs avoid defeat against Brighton. If they do, then our £20 stake will pay out at £17.40. Arsenal-Liverpool, both teams to score, is a bit shorter than I thought it would be at 0.56. £20 stake to return 11.20. I'm thinking and I'm hoping as we get closer to game time, those odds will drift out to about the 0.7, 0.8 range. But if not, we'll still be looking to put the bet on at about 1 to 2. And finally, last game on the Sunday, Everton-Manchester United. We think Man United have enough to put Everton's unbeaten streak to an end here. £20 stake to return 21.20, so across the 3 bets we will be risking £60 in order to hopefully pick up £49.80. Will we do so? Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's to tune into next episode. But if you made it to this point in the video, please leave a like down below. My name's been Nerdy Lover, and as always, have yourself a lovely day.